organization's finding that 1 out of every 3 women will be beaten, raped, or otherwise abused during her lifetime, and the realization that these statistics cover only a small portion of the catastrophes that befall people every day. It is no coincidence that the seeds of this book took root during a particular point in history, one that could be fairly characterized as traumatic for a lot of people. America's housing bubble ruptured, global markets plummeted, millions of people lost jobs and homes. The Tohoku earthquake shifted the earth on its axis by more than 6 inches. And as acts of terrorism spiked, people found themselves grasping for a sense of safety. These days, such events are practically the backdrop of daily life. Harvard Medical School professor of psychiatry, Judith Herman, calls trauma the affliction of the powerless. The problem is we're all powerless against the vicissitudes of fate. At the moment of trauma, the victim is rendered helpless by an overwhelming force. When the force is that of nature, we speak of disasters. When the force is that of other human beings, we speak of atrocities. She writes in her book, Trauma and Recovery. Traumatic events are extraordinary, not because they occur rarely, but rather because they overwhelm the ordinary human adaptations to life. Depending on the particular type of trauma, about 1/4 of survivors will fall into post-traumatic stress disorder, a painful and often debilitating condition. Others will experience significant depression or anxiety. In the midst of all this adversity, it's tempting to become pessimistic and fall into a kind of fatalistic hopelessness. It's easy to overlook the amazing potential for resilience in us as human beings. Amazingly, even in the midst of trauma, people continue to smile, to love, to celebrate, to create, and to renew. In making this observation, we absolutely do not mean to belittle the impact of traumatic times or the suffering many have endured and continue to endure. Suffering is real, but resilience is also real. It is an incredible and encouraging fact about human nature that, contrary to popular belief, after a period of emotional turmoil, most trauma survivors eventually recover and return to their lives. They bounce back. And in some cases, they do much more. They bounce forward, and in truly remarkable ways. A significant minority, as a result of the trauma, feel called upon to engage in a wider world, Herman writes. They refocus their energies on a new calling, on a new mission, on a new path, on helping others who have been victimized, on education, on legal reforms, or any number of other big goals. They move beyond mere resilience. They transform the meaning of their personal tragedies by making them the basis for change. We call these people Supersurvivors. In the aftermath of her cancer diagnosis, Asha paid for improvisational violin lessons. Her teacher took a unique approach with her. She asked me to play how I felt the day I walked into the hospital to get treatments, she explains. She didn't want me to use any words, just my instrument. It was the first time I felt close to my instrument and was actually able to improvise from my heart. Looking back, I was actually meditating on my instrument. I played the anxiety I felt when they injected the needle into my arm that contained the chemo. I played about trying to be strong for everyone else, even though I was terrified. I learned how to express myself through my instrument. Before surviving her trauma, Asha had no illusions about making a career out of music. You mean like playing for bar tips? No, it never crossed my mind. I was just way too practical, she remembers. But that pragmatism didn't survive the chemotherapy. After working hard for many months, she began playing electric violin for a few amateur rock bands. This was a new and invigorating experience for her. She hadn't hung out with people like this before. All her friends were either investment bankers or corporate suits. Something about this new life clicked. Perhaps it was the unscripted nature that, much like the music itself, was creative and freeing.